seek to reach all the corners of the earth.
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Welcome back to another episode of Roundup.
As always, we bring you an exciting selection of stories from studios across the world. So, without further ado, let's start with the headlines.
South Korea is planning to build the world's first ever floating city by 2025. According to details, the UN-backed project aims to be a new mode of living amid climate-related sea level rises. Moreover, the city will be made of hexagonal modules, stable enough to resist a Category 5 hurricane. Many countries are set to introduce travel restrictions for 6 African countries due to new COVID variants, which experts have said is the worst one they've seen so far. According to the World Health Organization, Europe was the only region in the world where COVID-related deaths rose last week. Hence, Europe may yet again spend Christmas in lockdown. Moreover, with over 20 million passengers expected to fly out this holiday for Thanksgiving, US hospitals are also preparing for an influx of COVID patients. NASA has launched the very first planetary defense mission. According to reports, it's been named the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, known as DART, and is currently being tested to protect Earth against a potential threat of asteroids. Dozens of people are missing after a fire filled a mine with smoke in Siberia, leaving at least 8 people dead. According to the Russian state news agency TASS, disaster struck on Thursday morning when coal dust in a ventilation shaft caught fire. Oxford University has identified 145 artefacts that had been looted in Benin raid. Items stolen by British troops during an assault on the city of Benin in 1897 are expected to be returned to Nigeria. Items include plaques, bronze figures, and musical instruments.
Technological advancement amazes me.
Why is that, Jhangi?
Well, let's take mobile networking for instance. Over time, each generation has brought significant development, making mobile communication all the more accessible and easier to use. I mean, isn't that amazing?
You're right, Jhangi. In our first report, NASA speaks to a specialist working in the field of 5G and wireless communication. Let's head over and learn more about 5G and its potential benefits.
You've probably seen towers like these all over the place. You may even have one on your street. But what are they? Take a moment to guess. If you guessed a beacon for space aliens, you would be incorrect. This is actually one of the 85,000 5G towers across the world. I'm here at the Surrey University to find out more. What is your role in 5G?
And by the grace of Allah, I've been working in the area of 5G and beyond wireless systems for the last several years.
What is 5G?
So 5G stands for the 5th generation of mobile communication systems. I'll give you a brief introduction of the different generations of mobile systems from 1G up until 5G. So it all started back in 1980s with the development of 1G systems, or the so-called first generation of mobile communication systems. Those phones were quite large and bulky, but actually they proved the concept that you could have voice communication on the go. Then from 2000 onwards, we had the 3G systems that provided mobile data services. You can consider 3G systems to be kind of a vehicle driving at low speed, 30 miles per hour. But when it comes to 4G system, you suddenly accelerate and you go to motorway speed. So that is the difference between 3G and 4G systems. So coming from 4G to 5G, this was not simply an increase of the speed, as you would have imagined, but in addition, 5G has also provided new features or new services which were not available with the earlier generation of systems. So one of them is the so-called ultra reliable and low latency communication. So what in simple word it means is it can provide highly reliable and highly critical information without any delays. So it can enable services like driverless cars. Similarly, you could also have remote surgery, a doctor sitting here in the UK doing an operation in Africa. So that kind of application requires really low latency, low delays, and they require highly reliable communication. So that can also be enabled by 5G systems.
But why do people say that can cause cancer or even coronavirus?
As far as saying that mobile phones or the 5G systems cause coronavirus, this is totally rubbish. There's no truth in it. But as far as causing cancer, there is no conclusive evidence that the use of mobile phones does cause cancer, at least in the short term.
How does 5G actually work?
Basic operation 5G is very similar to the 4G or even early generation of systems, mobile systems. Of course, it has got more features, more advanced features, yeah. But just like you can take the latest car, in its basic form, it is similar to all the other cars, but of course, it has got more features and more advanced features.
5G is a new and exciting technology and has opened up so many opportunities due to its immense speed, being 20 times faster than 4G. However, some people still believe that it is dangerous and can cause harm, but these people have fallen victim of fake news. Just remember, this is the 5th generation of an ever-evolving technology, and ahead is an exciting future. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Well, Jazakallah for that, Nasir. The future of 5G sounds very promising, and it's such advances in technology that help us keep connected, and they're really important.
And it's this very technology that allows us to tune in MTA and listen to our beloved Hazur, may Allah be his helpers, weekly Friday sermons, regardless of where we are in the world. Ghani will now present a summary of this week's Friday sermon.
Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. Last Friday, beloved Hazur continued to speak about Hazrat Umar Raziyallahu anhu, the second Caliph of Islam. Did you know the daughter of Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Hafsa Raziyallahu anha, had the honor of being married to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? During this week's Friday sermon, our beloved Hazur mentioned that Hazrat Umar held a lot of respect for those who had knowledge of the Holy Qur'an, no matter if they were young or old. One such example was when a chief came to Hazrat Umar anhu and disliked the fact that a 10-year-old child was also sitting in such respected company. It so happened that later Hazrat Umar became displeased at something that this chief did. That same 10-year-old child read the following from the Holy Quran. And those who suppress anger, chapter 3, verse 135, and also read, and turn away from the ignorant, chapter 7, verse 200. The child said that this person was surely ignorant. Upon hearing the words of the Holy Quran, Hazrat Umar anhu remained silent. Then that chief was told that the same 10-year-old boy he was looking down upon was the one who saved him. Hazur Ayyadallah bin Nasr al-Aziz said that when matters would be presented to Hazrat Umar, he would also consult children in order to sharpen their minds. Dear brothers and sisters, from this we can learn that we are never too young to learn the Holy Quran and use it to help our elders. In fact, by learning the Holy Quran, we would also be gaining Allah's blessings and improving our minds. Beloved Hazur Ayyadallah bin Nasr al-Aziz said that Hazrat Umar was extremely careful when it came to the wealth of the treasury. Hazur said that once it was extremely hot outside, so much so that it would be difficult to get up and even open the door. In this heat, Hazrat Usman anhu was informed that there was someone walking outside. When that person drew near, Hazrat Usman saw that it was Hazrat Umar anhu. Upon inquiring what he was doing outside in such extreme heat, Hazrat Umar said that a camel from the treasury had gotten loose and he was searching for it. Beloved Hazur said that it is recorded in history that Hazrat Umar had a special interest in poetry. It is said that often when matters were presented to Hazrat Umar, while explaining, he would quote relevant couplets of poetry. He would quote such poetry that was in line with Islamic teachings and the Islamic way of life. He would also encourage others to memorize poetic couplets as well. Hazrat Umar anhu also purified Arabic poetry. For example, it was common to name women in poems and declare love for them. Hazrat Umar removed this practice and determined a punishment for doing so. Dearest brothers and sisters, this was just a very brief summary of last week's Friday sermon, which was filled with many interesting stories and incidents. We hope you're able to hear the full Friday sermon, which can be found on mta.tv. Beloved Hazur Ayyadallah bin Nasr al-Aziz said that now the series of sermons on the life of Hazrat Umar anhu was complete. Hazur said that with God's grace, he will soon begin the series of sermons on the life of Hazrat Abu Bakr anhu. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah Ghani. As always, we encourage you to watch the whole Friday sermon, which is available online. Hey Jenna, do you want a salad after the programme?
Yeah, maybe. You know what I'd like to have in my salads?
Go on, what do you want?
I would like to have carrots, tomatoes, cucumbers, feta cheese, olives.
All right, okay. You know what? I like olives as well, and I'd want some olives in my salad, but did you know that 90% of harvested olives actually are turned into olive oil, and only 10% are used as table olives, the ones which you have in your salad? And did you know also that olive trees can grow up to nearly 300 to 600 years old? I mean, crazy. Anyways, our next report comes from Kababir, where we take a look into one of these olive harvests that recently took place.
Why do you know so much about olives?
Just watch the piece.
السلام عليكم، أنا سدرة طارق عودي.
وأنا آية ربيع عودي.
اليوم حابين نعرفكم على موسم الزيتون في بلادنا فلسطين.
أول مرحلة نقطف الزيتون منجمعه نوديه على المعصرة ونعصره.
تعالوا معنا على المعصرة نفرجكم كيف بنعصر الزيتون.
Let's go!
إحنا موجودين إسا بالمعصرة، بندير الزيتون بالمعصرة وهي بتنظف الزيتون من الأوراق والأوساخ، وبضل الزيتون نظيف بدون الورق. من بعدها بنغسل بالماء وبتبدأ بالعصر حتى يطلع معنا زيت زيتون صافي. آية، بتعرفي إنه في نوعين من الزيتون؟
أكيد في نوعين، الأخضر والأسود، التنين بنعصرهن والتنين بنكبسهن.
وبتعرفي إنه في كتير فوائد لزيت الزيتون؟
أكيد بيقوي جهاز المناعة،
وكمان بحمينا من أمراض القلب لاحتوائه على الكوليسترول الصحي.
صح، بيقوي الشعر، الجلد والعظام.
صحيح، في له كتير فوائد.
بتعرف إنه بنصنع من زيت الزيتون صابون كتير مفيد للشعر والجلد؟
صح، وبنستعمله كمان للأكل والطبخ والكعك كمان. تعالوا أفرجيكم استعمالات زيت الزيتون على الأكل. بنحطه على الزعتر وعلى اللبنة
وعلى الجبنة البيضاء وعلى الحمص كمان.
وهاي منقوشة زعتر وزيت زيتون، وهاي منقوشة جبنة بيضة وزيت زيتون. تفضلوا على الأكل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Wow, that looked delicious. It's amazing to see the effort that goes into harvesting the foods that end up on our dinner tables. Jazakallah for this interesting insight.
Well, speaking of interesting, let's head over to Bangladesh for a report on urban rooftop agriculture.
Green is rapidly disappearing from the cities of brick-wood civilization, yet we cannot simply forget our roots. People are creating gardens on the roofs of their houses by their own effort to keep their surroundings green. Rooftop gardens have become a meeting place for families, ensuring their nutritional needs with safe vegetables. People have been planting rooftops since the beginning of recorded history. The earliest records go back to the ancient ziggurats of Mesopotamia, built between 4000 and 600 BC. The hanging gardens of Babylon are probably the most famous ancient plantings, with landscape terraces and boasting trailing plants reaching a planted roof that was 75 feet above the ground. In big cities like Dhaka, opportunities for doing manual labor out of our routine work are very less. But if anyone works in the garden, like weeding the garden, watering the plants, taking care of the fruits, collecting them, etc., it can help them live healthy and free from all kinds of stress.
Living in an urban city, life has become more stressful than ever before. When I come home from my work, this rooftop garden of mine, it helps me release my stress. And also, this little piece of greenery, it is the source of my mental peace.
Many of us have a common misconception that gardening on the rooftop may damage the roof by reducing the stability. But It is proved by many experienced rooftop gardeners that a proper and planned garden can protect the roof from all sorts of harms, like direct solar heat in summer, heat loss in winter, direct storm water, and many more. If you keep your garden clean, it will no longer do any harm to your roof.
If you think that rooftop garden is harmful and will damage your rooftop, then it's not true, because if you clean it regularly and maintain it properly, it won't harm your roof. And rather than harmful, it will help you sometimes. Like for example, in countries like ourselves, there are some mosquitoes problem in rainy season. This happens mostly because of the water clogging problem. But if you have a rooftop garden like me and come to the rooftop regularly, then you will know where the problem is, because those people who don't have any rooftop garden, they don't visit their roof regularly. So if there is any water clogging and other problem, they will never know that. But you will know if you have a rooftop garden, then you will clean it and maintain it, and there won't be any problem. So this won't just benefit you, but also your community.
Keeping our environment calm and cool, rooftop gardens can be a great source of our local food system, employment, and daily engagement with nature. Even with a small space, one can start the garden of their dreams.
As always, jazakallah to all of you at home for contributing and sending in your views on the topics we talk about.
We love to hear what you have to say, and here's your thoughts on this week's topics.
I think we have to be quite cautious because with all the radiation it could cause cancer. But on the other hand, we could use this technology to our advantage, but we have to monitor.
Isa says 5G has proven to offer much faster data download and upload speed, and there are many other aspects that will be very beneficial to technology. I think because it is the next generation of mobile internet, it is a great new network. However, we should make ourselves aware of the danger of materialism that comes along with immersing ourselves in this new technology. Remember to keep an eye out on our social media at Roundup MTA on Twitter and Instagram for a preview of our topics and some exclusive content.
Finally today, it's time for us to travel all the way to the capital of the United States. Jinnah, you wouldn't happen to know what that is?
Washington DC, I guess.
Yep, you're right about that.
We have a couple of Atfal showing us a Qur'an exhibition they helped out with. Let's take a look.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hussein. And my name is Hassan. And we're at the American Fazl Masjid in Washington, D.C. Today we're doing a Holy Quran exhibition at the Anacostia Library. Since libraries have reopened from the lockdown, we have restarted our Holy Quran exhibitions. This one will be our second one this year at a D.C. public library. The American Fazl Masjid is located in northwest D.C., so we have to drive about 20 minutes to the library in the southeast neighborhood, passing through various iconic D.C. sites, like the Washington Monument. Once we reach the library, we help set up the tables, Qur'ans, and posters for the exhibition. We have over 40 translations of the Holy Quran in various languages of the Indian subcontinent, Africa, Asia, and Europe, as well as a table showcasing the English commentaries of the Holy Quran. Alhamdulillah, we had so many visitors come to the exhibition and learn about the Holy Quran, Islam, and Ahmadiyya. Even our teachers and our friends came to the Holy Quran exhibition. So if you're in the DC area, come stop by at our next Holy Quran exhibition. Jazakallah, Hafiz.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Roundup, and we'll be back soon again with more reports and exciting stories.
Until then, keep sending in your feedback, views, and story ideas via social media or email us at roundup@mta.tv.
Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Thy message to reach all the corners of the earth.